Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's been wild. You want to know what's even more wilder? Apparently, we're not allowed to cuss for 5 minutes.
I thank YouTube for that.
I'm just not going to talk. Just BS. If I'm really quiet, I have a 5-minute timer on my phone right now.
That's good.
I feel like one of us is going to have a hard time.
Kenny is following like the sit on your hands method of like don't touch anything, just to make sure that we're good.
I'm trying real
hard. I also have some very exciting news.
What's that?
I won $100 today.
Ooh, did you get a scratcher?
I did.
That's the scratchers.
So I told the guys they're like, what do you want for your birthday and Christmas? Because my birthday is too close to Christmas. So, I'm not going to get as much stuff. I never do. That's fine. And I was like, I don't know, man, just give me booze and like scratchers. And they're like, scratchers. I was like, yeah, scratch off lottery tickets.
The old scratch and jack. Wait, that's not a swear, is it?
Might be.
I hope not.
That's sus. Well, okay, continue.
So yeah, I was scratching them all off and I won $100 on one of the $25 tickets.
Awesome.
It's like, nice. I felt like $1 million. That $100 made me feel like $1 million.
Congratulations. I know you love your scratchers.
No, I don't. I forgot how to play them. I was like, had to read instructions. It was
How do you forget? You just get a quarter and scratch it off.
There's a game. You got to try to play the game.
There's games. And these, have you seen these $25 tickets?
I don't
buy
like
scratchers. 34 ways to win. Like, what? What do I do?
He's trying to break down the metadata, dude. He's trying to use his lizard brain.
Okay.
And just a matrix. So it's the first podcast of 2023 for the Long War. We're back from our holidays. I hope everyone had a good time. I know Rob had a good old scratching, drinking, hangout sesh. I don't want to use the same line I previously used twice, just in case.
Just in case.
That's a nice holiday.
I just chilled. I got sick though, right around Christmas.
Oh no.
Both of us. So
no.
That was unfortunate, but I had a staycation for like a bunch of days and just ended up sleeping in a few days in a row. It was amazing. Then the first day back on work, classic. Stay up till 5 a.m, get 4 hours of sleep. Bonet pulls a standard 24-hour shift like she does when she's in the throes of work. I'm like, it's like we didn't take a vacation at all. We're right back to it. Like I wake up, she hasn't gone to bed yet, and I got 4 hours of sleep. That's a normal day for us.
Gross.
I got my cowboy dramas going on. New season of Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
Just had the mid-season finale. Then they got the 1923 prequel. It's got Harrison Ford, and it has been real good, really good.
I watched all of Ted Lasso on vacation.
Hells yeah! Did you like it?
Mm-hmm. I love it. Bonet got me a Ted Lasso themed to-do list in my stocking.
That's awesome.
It's got his like mustache logo up here. It's like the color scheme of their team, and it's a to-do list. And every page has the first 3 lines of the to-do list filled out. It says biscuits with the boss, Diamond Dogs, secret sandwich.
Diamond Dogs. Oh, that show is fantastic.
You're right. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, you and
doesn't it just make you feel good?
Love this show so
like
much.
When you watch it.
Why?
Man,
it's the characters.
Dude, shows that just make you like wholesomely happy like that are too few. We need more of them.
It's the characters, like the plot that surrounds them that is the excuse for all those characters to be together. It's irrelevant. It's meaningless. It doesn't matter. It could be anything. They could be in outer space, and it doesn't matter. It's the characters. So good, so well written. Like I can't believe how good it is. And you were right. Bonet was right. I was making fun of you guys for like a year. You're both right.
Have I ever recommended you a show that wasn't good?
Oof.
I mean, you said The Mandalorian was good. It wasn't. You said Book of Fett was good. It wasn't.
You watched it and liked it. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to.
What is wrong with you?
God, it's so hard. I'm just trying.
Kenny's like sweating right now
to joke you.
Swear.
I'm just joking you.
Oh man.
Hold on.
How much time you got left yet?
Just wait.
Those 5-minute rounds last a long time.
Man.
I should have set a timer
Hold
just to
on.
see how
Here we go.
long we had.
There we go.
Done. Cool.
Fuck.
Sticks.
And we're demonetized.
That was hard as hell.
Good job, guys.
All right. Want to do a Would You Rather?
I would.
I needed to burn 5 minutes because there's no way I can get through Would You Rather without cursing.
Would you rather wear glasses to let you shoot lasers from your eyes, or a watch that lets you freeze time?
Wait, okay. We got to talk about this freeze time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when time is frozen, do you still function outside of this?
Yeah, as long as you're wearing the watch.
Are we talking like everyone's frozen? Can you move them around kind of time freeze? Or am I like, is it like I'm passing through the fourth dimension? I can just change my location in frozen time, or can I interact?
It can be like Quicksilver time if you want it to be.
No, I mean, kind of like,
So-
I click the watch, everyone's frozen, and I can steal your wallet and walk away.
Yeah.
I like how Kenny immediately goes to use his powers for evil.
No,
He's
it's
a
always the
supervillain,
same
we
thing.
know.
How to make money.
Well, okay, maybe not evil.
Yeah, a super
What? So, are you in stasis? Do you exist outside of this reality? Are you aging? Like, what are we talking here?
No, it's like for like time is stopped and you exist
How
outside
long
of
does
the
it
stop
stop
time.
for? Is the real question.
I think that far ahead.
As long as I wanted to until I unclick it.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that I can click it to freeze time, break my watch, and I'm stuck.
Yeah. There's some Twilight Zone, bit to this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's some Twilight Zone junk right there. Okay. So basically, every time you click that watch, Rob, you're basically God. Unless you drop the watch and it breaks.
Should
And of
probably fix
course,
that.
there's only one way to make money when you freeze time, and that's criminal enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the glasses are, you said laser vision?
Yeah. You get to shoot laser beams from your eyes.
How powerful are the laser beams?
Yeah, we were talking.
Can I take down an airplane?
I mean, we'll make it like Cyclops. Why not?
So, concussive force with no heat.
Yeah.
And it scales with,
It doesn't
it
scale.
doesn't scale. Is it like a drop kick from The Undertaker, or is it like a bullet?
We'll say X-Men or Cyclops in the X-Men movies,
Well, he scales it based on what he needs.
but not in the movies. Oh, are you talking about the dial that he has?
Yeah, that's, he opens it and closes it so that it can
Depending on how
be
far.
a punch
Okay,
or it can be
okay.
a bullet. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what he's doing.
Well,
Right.
he has. I think he has a controller in his hand.
Yeah, he also
too.
has buttons in his
Like-
hands, but they left that out of the movie. They just did it like this.
I'll say it scales with emotion. How about that?
Emotion? Ooh, so I don't have control, or as long as I'm in control of my emotions?
I mean,
Mm.
can you control your emotions?
No. Hell no.
Hey, that was your answer. You have those stipulations now.
This is a lot to think about.
I'm freezing time, baby.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
Is the genie a lot? Am I allowed? I mean, like the genie's, because I can get trapped by accident. Like I'm allowed to
Yeah.
steal when I freeze time, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, stealing's like a matter of perspective
Do
in
whatever you
some
want.
regards.
That's the only thing you can do when you freeze time is steal, dude. That's it. There's no other thing. You can't interact in any capacity. I can't get on the clock. I can't. Well, I guess I can finish my chores early and get paid. Oh no. There's positive things you can do.
What if you got like a little Vespa? You could like freeze time and skip traffic. Just weave in throughout all the cars.
Quick question. If I froze time and then I raked my yard and then unfroze time, would all the like leaves just catch on fire from the friction that would have occurred in that like split
I
second?
don't think we're going that deep into this.
Okay.
So no meaningful physics.
No, it's Twilight Zone rules. Got it. Time freeze, baby.
I feel like there's no. I mean, as long as you carry like a repair kit, maybe for the watch, just in case, like on your
The
person.
genie
I guess
probably
it,
will ban you for learning how to fix watches.
Why? If you can break it, you should be able to fix it.
I already know how to fix glasses, so that makes sense. You're not gonna be able to ask anybody anything or even Google though, because if you're in like the time freeze already, you're just gonna have to go off your brain. You can't Google some shit.
You don't think so?
Library.
You have to go to a library.
It's your Dewey Decimal.
Why would your phone? Why would your phone not work?
Because time is frozen.
Oh, time is frozen, dog.
I don't understand.
Like all the servers.
Your computer has to go through a process of. Yeah, it has to process bits to.
Yeah, bits per second, dog.
Call
no
information.
Seconds. No seconds are passing.
Like your computer is on the internet. It's calling a function to pull up a URL page.
You have to walk around aimlessly, get in a car, just driving till you find a library that you don't know where it exists and you don't have GPS.
But I mean, theoretically, your car wouldn't work either if your phone's not going to work. Miles per hour.
You can move things around.
It's Twilight rules. I have a feeling that the genie's not going to let the internet work, but he will let internal combustion occur. Genie rules.
I disagree with this genie.
I'm trying to think of the show.
This genie doesn't know physics.
What was that show in the early 2000s where the Japanese guy could stop time? But things
Heroes?
Yeah, things he interacted with, it would like pull him into his time. So you could like get on a bicycle.
It's fair though. It's fair that internal combustion wouldn't work though too, right?
I think they drive around in that. As long as you have to like pull the car.
Not.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll go with it. Like I think that's fair. Like so basically you could.
I mean, you could use a bike,
space and time, and that's all that can function. Right, like you can move things in space and time, but like other things like chemical combustions that couldn't take place. I think that's fair, like for freezing time.
I mean, you're basically Amish at that point.
Only when you're freezing time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you
have to set up your time freezes in advance.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's super sweet.
It's less godly than it was a second ago, but I like it because then I'm just.
It requires thinking. It's just like anything in life. You wish you could do something, and then when you start thinking about it, you're like, "Oh shit!"
I'm going to be the most prolific pranker of all time. Like I'm talking, the president's giving like the State of the Union address. I'm already going to be there, dude. I'm like with a bag of Sharpies. I'm like, oh, freeze time, dicks on the face, unfreeze time.
I mean, it's basically the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah,
get swole.
Can I get swole? Yeah.
Imagine like being in an altercation and like you just get amazingly swole.
Like this guy's kicking my ass. He's beating.
You could literally be like, I'm about to go Super Saiyan.
On the ground. My watch spills out of my top jacket. And I'm like, shit. I freeze time as he's about to beat my ass. Right. He's like the final blow. I roll out from under it and I'm like, okay, gotta go fucking Rick and Morty on this.
Yeah.
I'll go work out for like 3 years. Get jacked beyond belief. Like. Study all the ancient martial arts manuals, the fucking library, get all swole as shit, right? Then I get back under the guy's fists 3 years later, and I'm like, I'll give this one to you for free. Poof, hits you, you get up, arm bar, snap that fucking arm, like get up, backflip, beat everyone's ass. That'd be hilarious. That's my goal. I'm freezing time.
What if you, I mean, I think so too. Like, it's just going to require a little bit of work. Like,
I just love the idea of like putting yourself in situations where you could fuck with people.
Yeah,
like you roll up to a tournament and like all your models are gray plastic and they're like, your stuff isn't painted. And you're like, is it though? And then you freeze time, paint your entire army, unfreeze time. And it's like, now that person thinks they're insane.
It'd be just like that Rick and Morty episode where like they froze time for like the whole year and put off all their chores and then had to do them still the last second. Yeah. It'd be like that. That guy's like falling off the roof for like a whole summer.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
I'm with you there. I like it.
So I'm gonna do pranks for sure and steal money. What would you do with it, Rob?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like I would be a scamp in some regard, but I'm not exactly sure how.
Dog, imagine if I just froze time right now, drove to your house, drew a dick on your face, came back in here and unpaused time. And as you were talking, nothing changed for you, but now you have a dick on your face.
Dude, I would immediately suspect you.
Like, but,
Like, even though the physics doesn't support it.
but think about like how I'll walk to your house, dog. For like,
On his
I walk
bicycle.
across the country. It'd be like a year journey, harrowing journey in the winter, just to draw a dick in your face, come home, get back in here. I'd have a beard and shit, be obviously ragged and thinner and emaciated. Worth it.
Totally worth it.
Rob would age backwards somehow.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I don't know if Rob's current
I
temporal
don't-
field can be inside of another temporal field.
I doth protest.
That's true. It might cause a black hole.
Yeah, fucking. Rob, you want to do some news? You got some Mantis news for us?
I have plenty of Mantis news. So we actually got some new releases coming out from Games Workshop. But if you missed the previews they did last week, which, by the way, thank you, Games Workshop, for not doing an actual live video preview on Christmas like you did last year. That was some bullshit. So I much prefer these articles coming out in the middle of nowhere during the day than actually doing shit on Christmas Day. Because I had my guys all ready. I was like, they're going to do another preview on Christmas and it's going to suck and we're going to have to work. And they're like, I don't want to. And I was like, neither do I. But if all three of us do it, then it'll get done quicker. But it turns out they didn't. And they did this instead, which I think was way better. The silhouette thing was pretty neat. For Heresy, I think my favorite stuff in there was seeing that it looks like Exodus for Horus Heresy for Alpha Legion might be a thing. They're finally getting a figure, and was the Cerebrus for the Spartan chassis, the 3-barreled large tank. Kind of cool to see all that stuff happening in plastic. I think on 40k, I was most excited about Snickrot because as soon as I saw that silhouette, I was like, oh shit, that's Snickrot. Because he hasn't had like a super dope model and he's like such a cool character to finally see that. But Farsight might be pretty cool too if it really is Farsight. Maybe it's Exodus or Exodites. I think it's probably Farsight though. Definitely looks fresh. And then those are kind of my favorites. On the Sigmar side of things, I don't know. Seraphon, I always like lizards. So I had a Seraphon army back in the day. I actually did a Seraphon Ravenwing army once upon a time. The Master of Ravenwing was riding on the back of the Stegodon, which you might remember the old pewter miniature, which wasn't very big at the time, but for the time it was a chunk of metal. That was pretty fun to convert up. That was almost feels like a different lifetime ago. So lots of previews and lots of stuff coming our way. Of course, remember there's going to be a preview at LVO in a couple of weeks too, if I had to suspect. We're going to see more on what's coming out in between these going into, the spring. Because remember, all that World Eater stuff, if I had to guess, we're probably going to see Guard next week. It's going to be, they've been kind of leaning that way. Although it might not quite be the case. We saw the accessory set for Cadians come out, but that was more of a knee-jerk reaction because somebody got a hold of a box and put it up on eBay. So some of that going on out there too. But I would expect to see quite a few cool things leading into the whole Arcs of Omens or Arcs of Omen and lots of cool stuff for the spring. If I had to guess, I would say they're going to reveal 10th edition at Warhammer Fest in April because that's when they did it back in 2020 when they were doing the week-long live streams for it. A little bit of bookkeeping. So we are going to have a Long War Doubles at LVO here in a couple of weeks. I'm sure there's still tickets available. You can always probably just show up day of and get into that too, pick up a ticket. I think we always try to work people in if you just show up, even if you don't have a partner, if you have an army, there's a good chance you can get into that. But the tickets to Adepticon in general will be going on sale this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. So, of course, we're going to have a Long War Doubles at that as well. There's going to be some notable changes at Adepticon this year. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but the convention hall itself, especially the 40K side of things, is going to look a little different. So don't be surprised if you walk in and you're like, what's going on? This is a little different because it might be a little bit of a shock at first, but going forward, I don't think it's going to be quite that big of a change or that even bad of a change for overall for, just players and just having access to things. But I would expect to see more people at tables, just walking in and just kind of hanging out by tables and taking it all in and just checking everything out. I would look for a bunch more people just kind of randomly about in the hall. So, but yeah, get your Adepticon tickets this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. That's the 8th of January here. Oh, new products coming out that aren't games. I'm just going to say Games Workshop for last because whatever, it's Games Workshop. People have heard about it. On the AMG side of things, Blizzard Force for Star Wars Legion will come out, I believe what would it be, tomorrow, the 6th. So if you've been looking to get into Star Wars Legion, here's another great, easy way to do it. $150. You get plenty of points with this stuff and it's actually a competitive list. Now there is a rules update coming out for Star Wars Legion, but these Blizzard Force lists, as they're called, it's basically like the Hoth side of the Imperials, have been doing very good at tournaments. So, if you like Imperials or the Empire and you like Star Wars, might be worth a pickup or more than just a look on the shelf. No telling how long these battle forces are here for Star Wars Legion. And also some other cool products. The Web Warriors are getting their affiliation pack for Marvel Crisis Protocol. This stuff's all coming out on the 13th. So if you've been looking to get into Marvel Crisis Protocol, want to pick up, the Spider-Man faction, that might be a good way to go. Rhino's also coming out for the Spider Foes side of things, and he looks pretty fun. He's like a mini Juggernaut. And the Hydra Train, that's an interesting proposition. I could see some crossover with 40k as far as design and conversion potential. But that being said, it's actually more pricier than Games Workshop products. So I'm like, I don't know. That's a big question mark for me, dog. But if you're looking for something different, that might be the way to go. Vallejo Game Color, they've completely revamped their Game Color line. They've redone the product in general. The bottles are clear. There's safety tamper, the little breakaway strip. I don't know what you call it, but safety seals, I guess you could say. And of course, they got the Express Color coming out, which is their version of Contrast. I've talked about that a lot. I don't really want to say anything else about it, but that being said, it does look like a good product. And there's some new binders in with the paint in general, which makes it appear to be a bit brighter in intensity, just not necessarily the express color, but just their paint in general, which is really cool to see because in a lot of ways, Vallejo was kind of it's definitely the first alternative on the scene as far as, different paint from Games Workshop, and really made stuff look very much different. So like when you saw it, you're like, holy crap, that's Vallejo paint. And, 20 years later, it's not necessarily the case anymore because there's so many different paints out there on the market. And looking at this new products and seeing the people working with it, I'm like, wow, that's Vallejo paint. It's come full circle. So that's really interesting to see as far as that goes. Me personally, I've kind of gravitated away from Vallejo over the past 20 years because there's been all those other products that are consistently better in my mind out there that actually, interact with the community and give a crap about the miniatures scene. So, I'm kind of torn personally. Am I going to buy it? No, probably not. But I could see where a lot of people are going to be very interested in at least trying it out or maybe picking it up to, update their paint ranges. So be on the lookout for that. In February, retailers are getting solicited there's 2 different racking systems. I think you will probably be able to find it the easiest at Hobby Towns. But as far as your local game stores, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's already difficult to get Vallejo paint stocked in stores. And I don't really see that changing, unfortunately, going into the future. I do hope they change it because that's one of the biggest problems here in the States is just the availability of Vallejo paints in general. Another thing I wanted to touch on before we jump into Games Workshop was the Armies of Humanity Kickstarter is out. It's crushing it. It's got a lot of really great alternatives to Imperial Guard. Very, very cool designs. Obviously, super great, counts as good alternatives to all the things you would expect from Imperial Guard, but you can print them out and play with them. And they're amazing designs. It's a very robust range. They did a lot of great work. So check that out over on Kickstarter. It's for a 3D STL Kickstarter. It's doing quite well, and it's still got a decent amount of time out there ahead of it to really start crushing some goals. So really excited about that one and kind of see where they go. This is their third Kickstarter. I think the first on the 40k side of things. So all the stuff looks great. And then getting into Games Workshop. So, well, surprise, new Space Marine battle forces, kind of, I guess, seemingly out of middle of nowhere. But the Iron Hands are getting one, the Salamanders are getting one, Ultramarines and White Scars. And I don't want to ruin the illusion for anybody, but if you look very closely at the Warhammer community articles, the majority of them are super photoshopped. Like, it's the same models, just photoshopped multiple times to form these composite images.
Has GW only ever painted like 18 Space Marines?
Well, I can tell you about how many White Scars bikes they painted and about how many Salamander Marines they painted. 6. Yeah, it's very noticeable. The Ultramarines, however, are not photoshopped. Those all look pretty legit. But these battle forces, they're same price, $210. They have a little bit less value in them, and I guess it remains to be seen what the breakdown of upgrade sprues and decal sheets are, because remember, they had that upgrade pack. It's 2 upgrade sprues and a decal sheet, and originally they were trying to get like $17 for these things, and then suddenly it was $27. So a lot of your value in these battle forces are going to be the special characters and these upgrade sprues, which are great if you're like, yo, I've been looking for an excuse to get into Ultramarines. This is for you. But if you're going to want to double up and get, kind of take your value to the next level and be like, oh, but I want bikes, so let me get the White Scars one. I'm not going to play White Scars. Ha ha ha. You got the con on foot now. You got to find something to do with it, So just be aware of that. If you want the generic stuff, definitely take a look at the 2021 Battle Force for Space Marines. Those might go for a premium because they're a little bit harder to find. And, people are going to start figuring out, hey, let me scoop up that Battle Force and the Ultramarines one or the White Scars one, whatever. So just kind of keep that in mind there. Also, obviously, the GT mission pack and points book, the chapter approved book, our Arcs of Omens, is going to be out. It's $30. We've talked about that a lot.
Rob, what about, isn't Monument Hobbies coming out with paints too in a couple of days?
Yeah, so tomorrow, actually, a lot of things are dropping tomorrow for Monument Hobbies. Let me finish this up real quick. Arcs of Omen, Abaddon is $60 for that new book full of rules and fluff. Black Legion dice, and this is something that we definitely need to talk about. So the Black Legion dice, there's 15 dice in there, not 20, and it's $35, not $38. So they took 5 dice out, they lowered the price back down to 35 from 38, but took 5 dice out. So a little bit of a hard sell, but we'll see how they do.
Interesting evaluation.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting. Now, yes, Monument Hobbies, their new Go bag is going on sale tomorrow. Actually, just out of the blue, they posted up earlier today. I think it looks great. I've been watching that for a while. They did a live stream when they're at the, I think it was the Valhalla event thing, whatever it was. And that thing looks pretty fresh. It's got lights. It's got all sorts of places for all your things and all your paints. Don't know the exact price point on it yet, but look for that tomorrow. Hopefully we can get an article up and point some people at it. Also, they're coming out with 2 new lines. Well, two sets of different colors of paint. They are, one for Ninjon and one for Vincent Vitrola. That great looking colors for sure.
The influencer paint line.
Yeah, the influencer paint line, and then some of the money, some of the profits for them are going back to those guys. They are a little bit more pricier, to kind of, I guess,
they're
compensate
limited
for that,
run,
which I understand. Yeah, they're a limited run. Thank you. And, it's definitely worth picking up to support.
Or not
like
in the
said.
limited run, but like you can't buy them outside of the packaging, I think, is like, no,
Right.
It's funny because Jason has been talking to me about this idea for like a year.
Right.
And I think it evolved from like a signature set of paints that already exists, which the more we talked about that, the more limp that sounded, to a give me ideas for like what paints you would like to see, to hold on, what if I went to like Vince and fucking Ninja and, and asked them that same question and they were able to like communicate that to the audience. And so I think it's a really interesting, it's really interesting for a couple of reasons. Anybody who's a fan of the Pro Quill, because the core set doesn't actually, you don't need any other paints actually.
That's true.
That's like how it was designed from an artist, like from Jason. Every color you need is there. But no matter how much dedication Jason puts into showing people that truth, people still want shelf-stable, repeatable results from premix. And so that's where you see all the expansions and everything beyond the core set. And so this is just an extension of that, where many people out there are like, man, if only I had this one color GW has, even though Jason can show you how to make that color, like right here, that doesn't do it for people because, again, shelf stability. Like if you have like a huge project that might take you on and off weeks, months, you need to be able to go back and know it's going to be consistent. Especially
I'm definitely a fan of that.
If that's your art level, right? So that's what I think is really interesting about seeing these new influencer paint sets, is that they speak to that. And I think that's going to help people break free of the GW reliance and move more toward an artistic mindset for utilizing paint. So I think that's a dope thing. I'm supposed to have like communicated my set to him multiple times already, but he keeps telling me I can't use colors he already has. But I keep telling him colors he already has. So my new idea, Rob.
Yes.
5 grays, all just slightly different than each other. Yeah. No paint company has the balls to do that. That's why painting black is so hard. Like black power armor is so hard for the average artist, for the average hobbyist. It's
I can see that, yeah.
The way they paint and the way they've been taught to paint is, this is the black, highlight it with this gray, then highlight that gray with this gray. Well, no paint company has the balls to put out a bunch of grays that are barely different. They put out like 4 grays that are totally different.
Yeah, you always have to kind of mix it yourself.
When you do that with red, like they're like, I'm going to highlight this red with this red. And it worked perfectly. And it doesn't work when you paint black. It's because it's just like 30% brighter, not barely brighter, right? So obviously I would expand upon it, because I also say on record that I basically don't buy grays. I have 2 grays that have lasted me 3 years, because black and white. But no matter how many times I show people how easy it is to edge highlight black, it doesn't matter, because they don't have the comfort level to generate that respect that I talk about in my curriculum. So I'm seriously thinking about creating like basically a black, shadow black highlight and final highlight that are all
be a warm shadow black, cold black,
ultra close in each other, that respect value spectrum, but also they use as that flare, that blue that I like. I like to throw a little jade in the mix. That's been my thing lately. So basically like a black that only has jade in it, but it's so dark it might as well be black, followed up by a version of that with a little white in it, then a final version of that has even more jade and white in it, right? But they're so close.
Oh, so you're on the blue spectrum.
Yeah. That's how most people like to do it. That's also how I like to do it. So I'm actually thinking about that. And then I would change the black, because my problem with coal black is it's too matte. A lot of people like that. But when you look at like black power armor and it's really matte black, it looks kind of gray. So I would like to re-engineer the black to be more in line with how the transparent black looks. So that's currently what I'm workshopping. I've been workshopping that on Twitch. Anybody listen to this podcast, if that sounds interesting to you, definitely let us know in the comments or wherever you found this, because I need more information to know if this is a bit I'm doing or if this is real,
I can see the advantages to it.
50 Shades of Black, baby.
Not everybody has that comfort level to just, grab some random shit off their paint desk and just mix it together live and have it work.
Like, thing is, airbrushing is easy. We all know how to do it, right? We talk about it so much. It's like the hard stuff that people are still working on is like, how to take a little ass brush and draw little skinny ass lines on things. That's what people struggle the most with.
Yep.
So,
I think whites,
brand, which is airbrushing, right?
Whites also present unique challenges in yellow and red in some regards. Maybe not red as much, but definitely white.
No, you're right. Those are all the emails.
Highlighting
black, yellow, red. But black is the one that it always comes back to with all the students I've taught over the years. 100%. But sorry, I digress. I got excited about that. Ninjon and Vince, two of my favorite painters on the internet. I'm stoked on their shit. I can't wait to get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we'll I don't know what time tomorrow that'll be out, but definitely check. Maybe they'll be sending out emails. We'll get a article together on it, point everybody at it.
Yeah. Well, do you want to transition into our meat and potatoes?
Yeah, that's basically what is coming out next.
All right. So
also a little bit of news.
Mantis news with Rob Baer. Don't look now, but there is a permanent marker dick on his face.
It's an invisible ink.
That has occurred to anyone listening to this podcast.
Listening, yes.
So Balance Dataslate sheets out. We did a little bit of pre-game on it. We also did a pre-before hours talk on it. And we also did a tactics discussion on it today. Different varying degrees of heat that we have brought on various subjects. But today, right now, in this moment, we're going to focus on winners, losers, and things we're excited about. So I'm going to kick it to Wyatt. Early, we workshopped AdMech, Flamers, and Nids were three things we wanted to discuss. And so I'll let you field them in whatever order you want to discuss.
Yeah, so Chaos Demons got a bit of a hit. Flamers is niche, a real popular unit. They've been seen in a lot of CSM lists. Well, they got a pretty big change where now their flame weapons hit on ballistic skill. They no longer auto hit. So they hit on force. And that seems to be like.
So do they roll the random amount of die? They roll random attacks and have to roll a hit now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good balance. I mean, they were oppressive.
Were they though?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they were that oppressive.
Yes. Trust me. They were. And so people ask, how do you fix flamers on the last podcast of the year? And we speculated like, well, you could change the points, but that's not going to stop people if something's working. You can lower the DPS, but then that just changes you can change the whole math of what their equation is. So are they the same otherwise with only that one change?
Yes.
That's it. So they miss 50% of the time now. Same points, same speed, same access, same fly keyword, same ability to hurt people assuming they get the hits they need.
Right.
But they're going to miss 50% of the time.
There's also some changes coming down the pipe with.
Also no auto hitting on Overwatch. This is a big deal. That was one of the problems with them is you could not, you couldn't deal with them.
Yeah. So coming down the pipe with Arcs of Omen, how you build your army list is going to be very different. And CSM can still bring a patrol detachment of demons, but it's going to be like a unaligned like demons detachment. If you play Thousand Suns, you can bring a patrol of Sneech demons. So that might be a little bit better since they're all Sneech, that kind of thing. But yeah, Flamers definitely took a hit.
Oh, for sure.
Tyranids, there is a number of things. I'm not a Tyranids expert.
Oh, can I ask questions? Acidic spores.
You don't get them without reinforcement points anymore. I think that was one of the big issues.
Really?
Yeah, you could spawn them different ways, and they were just freezies. So you could do a lot of tricks. You could box out shit, and
so yeah, they were my biggest hurdle with Tyranids.
Yeah, our Tyranid players on XPZ are mucho unhappy about a lot of this stuff. To the point where if this was going to be in play for LVO, they were going to cancel their tickets.
Oh.
So seems like it's kind of a big deal.
So you don't get free spore mines. They actually cost points and reinforcement points.
Reinforcements, yeah.
Holy shit, that is such a nerf. Oof. That is brutal.
I think, was it Overrun?
Overrun. That's
the stratagem. You can only play it on core units.
Can't
now,
play it. So the Hive Tire with the Obliterator Axe can't do it anymore?
I feel like he is not a core unit.
Oopsies. That's a massive nerf.
I don't feel it. Is it a nerf or is it like something?
Let's
be real.
Nerf is just the vernacular nerds use to describe it's not as good as it previously was. That's it.
Sure, it is not as good as it previously was.
Not yet.
But there's a lot of these things when you look at it, right? You're like, yeah, these flamers are really OP. Like, that's a little too much.
And I respect the meta team, the Meta Watch team. And basically, based on the articles they've come out with recently, ever since the Votan stuff, that the way they look at this information, I actually have a lot more faith in them than I once had. And so, yeah, nerf, strong wording, right? They basically made it more balanced because it's the only right way to utilize the Hive Tyrant, right? Mm-hmm. So when something becomes the only way to do it because it's just so optimized, right? And so that makes sense.
Right. Well, and then aside from the data slate, there's also a whole slew of FAQs and errata that went out for various codexes today. Let's see. So Demons, Tyranids, Thousand Suns, Votan Knights, Grey Knights, Genestealer Cults, CSM, Chaos Knights, Eldari, and Dark Angels all got erratas today as well. So if those are any of your armies, make sure to check those out. And then there's a number of changes coming down that have to do specifically with Arcs of Omen. So if you're not going to LVO, or if you're going to LVO, none of this is in place, so it doesn't matter. And if you're not going to LVO, then you can start planning with all this stuff immediately. AdMech has been kind of slowly rising back. And then with this data slate, as well as the new Arcs of Omen stuff and the Field Munitora manual giving them some pretty nice points, they're going to be like pretty tight. Looks like
because they got nerfed into oblivion.
Like Cataphrone are getting core. Both versions of Cataphrone are getting core.
Nice.
Change the Bionics ability to give a 5-up invul save for Rangers, Vanguard, Cataphrone, Servitors, Iron Striders, and Sidonian Dragoons. Some other things that
Cataphrons are troop choices too, right?
I don't think they are.
That's a good question.
I think they were a troop choice without core, like because they're like all those little like tank treads.
No, let me go look. I don't think so. Oh, maybe they were.
Wasn't that like what was weird about them?
Were?
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So like a troop choice that didn't have core, but they had like a lot of other utility. So
yeah.
One of the other things is just various points, goodness all around. Different things like some free war gear here and there. The robots, the Castellan robots get like free war gear. So they're going to be much more efficient than they used to be.
Shit, they used to be monstrous creatures back in the day.
What about Abaddon?
Abaddon went up to 350.
Ooh.
So on 50
350.
points. So
Tree fitting.
what is the subject of how detachments work, though? Because Kara Quinn was mentioning that
All right.
formations. What is that?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about this. Some people have been a little bit confused. So the way that it works is everybody must only use an Arcs of Omen detachment. They've already put out a couple of articles showing the force organization chart of how that works. And so like if you haven't seen that, it'll be in the book. It's there. So all the other detachments are gone. You have to use an Arcs of Omen detachment. Then you can include an allied detachment that is capitalized, capital A, capital D, allied detachment. And that is an additional detachment that you can take according to the Battle Brothers chart. I don't have the PDF. It's on my other computer, but the way that it reads is like you can include either a patrol or a super heavy auxiliary as an allied attachment. And it says, if your faction is allowed to take an allied detachment as per the rules in the Battle Brothers chart on page 8, you can, because not everybody can do that. So for example, if you are Imperium, you have 3 choices: the agents of the Imperium, Knights, or Votan. And that's it. So, for example, you cannot take an Arcs of Omen detachment and then an Outrider detachment to try to get more slots of stuff, or to have like 2 different chapters of Space Marines, or 2 different, I forget the term for Sisters of Battle, 2 different priesthoods of Sisters of Battle, whatever it is.
Orders.
Orders, right. So you'll have to look at the Battle Brothers page, see if the armies you play have any of those additional things. If they don't, then you can't. So you get your Arcs of Omen detachment, and that's it. There was a couple of erratas in regard to that. Like, for example, Dark Angels. If you want to run your Deathwing army or your Ravenwing army, they put in an errata that if the detachment follows the same rules, so for Deathwing, everybody has to have Deathwing keyword or Inner Circle keyword, then you get the first company rule set. Same thing, if everything in the detachment has Ravenwing keyword, then you get the second company rule set.
Oh, and in reference to Abaddon, that means like if you play, Chaos Knights, for example, that's not one of their options for the Battle Brother chart, is to run Abaddon.
Right. Yes.
So kind of an interesting, because remember we mentioned that Abaddon's, basically ruined Knights because like he's just the most optimized.
Yeah, so Abaddon is actually going to be leaving a lot of CSM lists because now he's still really good at 350. But he's not like 300 points flat good.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that changes up CSM lists. As far as CSM stuff, really the only big thing that happened is Legionnaires get free war gear. Otherwise, the only other points change that I remember seeing is the Bloodslaughter of Khorne went down like 15 points, and the Greater Brass Scorpion went down 45 whole points.
Nice.
There it is.
You have one of those.
I do. Yeah. And you can take like all Lords of War in this new detachment. It's super
How cool is that?
For Mecha Mash CSM, like this detachment is fantastic.
Seems pretty fun.
I'm fucking stoked.
I won't lie.
No, so as always, when we get a new field manual and new points, every human on Earth who has a love for a certain faction is going to be more of an expert on what is going on in that detachment and that update
for sure.
We are. So if we're not mentioning anything that you love today, understand that's simply because we don't currently play that, so we're not thinking that way. But I'm getting a lot of information from a lot of my friends on Facebook about Necrons, about Tyranids, about Space Marines, everything. And so, as always, your best avenue to information is being a part of a community, whether it's on Discord or Facebook groups. So get ready. This is that time. This is what we always look forward to. This is the scheming phase, guys. This is the best. And in line with that, I'm going to ask some questions. First thing I'm going to ask is, Rob.
Wow.
What are you excited about? What's the thing that makes you the most excited about these point changes in the field manual?
No one told me there was going to be a test.
Pop
No, I'm
quiz.
just kidding. Pop quiz. So I mean, I'm definitely excited for the Custodes changes because they got a little bit of a throttle back, but now I think it's going to be a little bit better. With the all core getting OPSEC, which I think is pretty cool. I was also excited that they didn't do anything silly with the guard being so new. Basically they lost AOC, but I mean that was to kind of be expected because I mean they're okay as far as I can tell, and they have actually. Maybe I'm going on a limb here, but I feel like they've won more tournaments recently than Custodes. So that was kind of an interesting metric in my mind there. But I think one of the things that has me most excited about all of these changes in general, the Balance Dataslate is about a year old at this point. I think it was February last year, but this is making Warhammer easier to kind of pick up and put down 40k wise. Like it was kind of to a point where it was a little too bloated or it was just moving too quick to where if you put it down, you couldn't pick it back up. And I, as somebody that doesn't play Warhammer 40k on the regular anymore, and for various reasons, none of it is like super negative or anything. It's just, I have fun playing other stuff more casually currently. I don't feel like it would be a huge barrier to entry to jump back in.
You use the
as far
term
as
pick upable and put downable.
Yeah, pick upable and put downable.
Which I think is interesting because that's like kind of the opposite stance that, you oftentimes feel when you're, with the overwhelming, amounts of information. You don't like if you walk away for 15 minutes, you feel lost trying to figure things out. So that pressure of like feeling like you have to, be in it all the time has made you actually create more distance between you and it now. Whereas now with like, hey, I've put it down for a while and I'm coming back and it's all this cool shit.
Yeah. And I think now that we have established pattern of them actually creating the balance that I feel like a lot of folks, is it perfect? No. Is there value in buying Codex books? Like if it's good to you, then yeah, buy it if you want that hard copy. But I'm still not sold on it personally. But that being said,
all the points and data sheets are all the points at least are free.
Yes, all the points are definitely free. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't agree with them selling the chapter approved book as the only way to get these changes. But I think they would be very surprised that people would still buy that damn book because it's so effing cool with the spiral bound and, all the flip outs. And sometimes, they put the little elastic band on it and all that.
No, I use Wahapedia 90% of the time, but I also really like having that physical spiral bound book in my possession.
Just having that
also
that in general.
I gotta say this. Why the fuck is whoever is involved with making these books for 40K so dense? Like the first one came out and it was spiral bound and everybody was like, fuck yes, great job. And then the next one, they were just like, nah, back to like shitty.
Back to like a magazine.
Dude, well, and then like the insult of this new General's Handbook coming out for Age of Sigmar and being spiral bound. I'm like, why? What are we doing here?
The price point's different on it though. Remember the 40K one's 30. The Sigmar one, I believe, is 50.
Okay.
It's dumb. Like Rob said, you'd be surprised, GW.
So I pay $50 twice a year and it's $30 twice a year. Like, who fucking cares? Yeah. Like, I want my spiral bound.
Yeah. Well, to them, I mean, $20 difference on, say, 30,000 units is a huge.
GW, double down. Go even harder. Okay? Spiral bound, some etching, make it even more sick, make it even more expensive, and give us the Wahapedia rules for free. We probably would sell more.
No, I honestly think if they bumped it up to $50 and had all those dope features we just talked about, but still put it out for free, people would still buy it.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I agree with you. I would buy that.
Yeah. I mean, I would not have a problem with it. You know, I would not have a problem with it. It's just the feel badsies
right
to how
but
they
we digress,
themselves
Rob.
on that.
You were mentioning the knowing a cycle of release makes it better for you and other people probably to be able to come and go in cycles versus just feel like
and I think they're very smart because they do these from a business standpoint. It's about to be a slow time, right? So then they put this out and they get all this hype out. It's like a free reason to pick up and buy more stuff right now in January. That's a huge boon for them because traditionally it's going to be slow for the next, month and a half for game stores. Same thing with, June before they put out that edition of the new game, or, remember 2020 when they put out the last edition, that book came out at the same time. And that's when I realized they were going to do this shit every 6 months because we had just bought that damn book in December and they put another one out in June. And I was like, oh, they're going to keep doing this. And they sure did. I was like, oh, they got us. And that's when I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. But they've come a long ways. And like I said, from 2021 to 2022, they've definitely shown that they realize that there's a problem. But all the stuff's in a sequence. They knocked it off with the supplements. They put out Arxome and they said, hey, yo, dog, we're listening to you. We get that you don't want to keep buying the shit, but they're almost there. They're almost there. They're almost there. So I think where people will not bat an eye at picking these books up. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I get excited over dumb shit sometimes.
That's a degree of excitement I've not seen from you in this regard.
I've also been drinking a lot tonight.
Ah, yes. That's unusual, Rob. That's unusual.
It's shocking. No, I mean, drinking a lot. I had 2 drinks. It's not really a lot, but
that's unusual.
No, that's about what I drink.
No, that's exciting. Let's kick it over to Wyatt. Wyatt, these are things that we're personally excited about, as I mentioned before, after commenting on some AdMech NIDs and flamers and things like that. Mm-hmm. Wyatt, I heard you were printing some shit off and you're excited about something totally different than what you've been playing recently.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to get Ultramarines back on the table. Like, that's
nice.
It's like my warm blanket army. It's my whoopee. Every time Ultramarines are fun and playable, I get really excited. I want to go back to it. And it's just like, it's always fun whenever a new field manual comes out and with this data slate to like look at different things that you haven't really seen in a long time. And different things like some tanks are much more point efficient. Like the Gladiator tank. Remember when the Gladiator tank came out and we were like, this would be really cool if it wasn't so stupidly expensive.
Dude, I don't think a lot of people, I mean, they didn't hit the table. That's how
I have never once seen one on the table because they were so over point costed. And now they're ranging from 125 to 170. And actually like the right points value for what you get. And so I'm like, hey, I could have some graph tanks again. That seems fun. Things like aggressors hitting the table again. I love those chunky
So you're
boys.
excited for Marines, basically. This affects almost all the Marines.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Like, because absolutely lots of positive and negative point changes that resulted in mostly a net gain of hundreds of points.
Yes.
For most people.
Yeah, there's definitely some wacky stuff that's going to go on. Factions that have more specialized troops, or not troops, but like units that are getting some big points changes, are going to be wilding out. Dark Angels is going to be real tight. Things like Death Watch. I think Death Watch is going to come out and be an absolute menace because they just have like 1,000,001 things that they could stack into these eclectic kill teams, and all their war gear is free now. So you're going to see some crazy kitted out kill teams.
That's gangster. God, Death Watch. Whew. Fucking love them.
I like Death Watch.
Oh yeah, I've always been a fan.
Yeah. What are some other ones? Like Stern Guard veterans, pretty wild.
Plasma Scepters.
Yeah, Plasma Scepters, very efficient for what you get now. with Armor of Contempt going away, a lot of units are all of a sudden back on the table and their points cheaper. So something like a unit of oppressor or suppressors, really cool because you can stay in the Dev Doctrine for as long as you want. So you can keep their heavy weapons pumping out the AP2. And they have 9 autocannon shots for a 90-point unit that has jump pack. It's like, that's pretty cool. And since they first got released, their special rule has changed where now, as long as one of your shots hits a unit from your autocannon, that unit can't fire Overwatch.
Dirty.
So dirty. Nah, I'm similarly excited on that subject with you. Obviously, being into Blood Angels. But I'm also excited for some of the nerfs. Right? Like AOS going away.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a small price to pay. If we had to give up our AOS, so just those sisters didn't have it, that's fair enough for me.
Yeah, fair.
You mean
Tough,
armor?
but fair.
What are you talking about? Armor of Contempt?
Yes.
AOC. I say AOS.
I was like, I don't think you're saying what you think you're saying.
Well, I did not say that correctly. Yeah, Armor of Contempt going away. AOS should go away, by the way.
Whoa.
Stand by
Let's not get crazy.
I stand by it. Stand by it. Yeah, Armor of Contempt gone. I'm excited about that. Makes me sad in other ways because like I don't get to, like my Centaurians like were like a really fun centerpiece of my Blood Angels army recently, and that was really inspired by Armor of Contempt, right? For example. Well, that's cool. Like it went away, and like now I have these Centaurians that I might not play as much, but I don't care. The nature of the hobby is constantly moving forward, and I think it's great that shit's vanishing because suppressors, as Wyatt just mentioned, they actually could do things again, because motherfuckers don't have like a blanket plus one of their or degrading AP value built into their armor plus cover.
AP 1 and 2 is actually like quite
zero.
a bit more useful now.
Yeah, it was AP nothing before.
What?
Like, so that's amazing. I love that. That makes me
with
stoked.
okay, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. Because if you're AOS or AOC, why am I saying AOS now? Why is AOS in my head?
So we have this huge.
You did this to yourself.
God, I did this myself. It's because I didn't say swear word for 5 minutes today. And now my brain's fucked up. But yeah, if you factor a 3-up save person in cover with Armor of Contempt, AP2 doesn't exist.
Yes.
So so now it does. This is great. I love that. Another nerf, secondaries. Secondary objective.
Yeah, some big changes to secondaries.
Even
you might say
ones that
some
affect
even.
me. They took away Blaze of Sanguinius, which I didn't care about, but they also took away the Death Company, Fury of the Lost, and like the money shot, Death from Above, or Descent of Angels, whatever it's called.
Yeah, so there are definitely some factions and sub-factions that only have one faction secondary now because all the rest got sent to the Shadow Realm. Some of them are like the tried and true ones, right? So like if you're a Dark Angels player, don't worry, Stubborn Defiance is still there. You got that. The other two are gone. So if that's something that's important to you, I want to shout out Tabletop Tactics because they put out a little like interactive table thing where you can find your faction and it tells you all you need to know about it. Most of the generic secondaries are only very slightly changed or unchanged, but a lot of the problem secondaries that we had for like the faction related stuff were either tuned in or tuned up to like be
or deleted
or deleted.
Like Descent of Angels or Death from Above. So that's my bread and butter with Blood Angels. And it's gone. Wyatt told it to me. I had a strong emotional spike, and then I was like, that's tough, but fair. Because Blood Angels have been on the rise, and that is the tech. And that leads to a singular style of play that if you take it from us, take it away from us, let's see what we do. Let's see if we evolve. I'm with that. But also, in the same breath, Oaths of Moment went back to the previous rendition. Because if you guys don't know and you're not Marine players, Oaths of Moment is 3 bullet points. You got to be within 6 of the center. You got to kill a character. And you got to not fail morale or fall back.
Yeah.
Right? And you used to get 2 points for being in the center and 1 for the other 2. They changed it to a better wording on scoring, but everyone you just get 1 point for each. That made it a little bit harder to get high scores on. And so with Blood Angels specifically, we're always looking for dropping in, doing relentless assault. So they giveth and they taketh. They gave me something. Yeah. They bumped up something. Like, because it turns out O's and Moments, not much of a problem, right, in the modern era like it used to be. You know, it's not like it still requires you to physically go to the center and score, physically kill a vehicle or a character, and also don't fail morale or fall back. You have to make choices, make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Death from Above literally gave us a bunch of free things. Like, I'm going to go into the reserve anyway so that I null deploy you. Then I'm going to just drop down and casually now for the rest of the game, as these units that came in via reserves kill things, I get free points. That's what the Blenders are going to do anyway. Nothing's changed. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm like, man, that was the reason I felt it is because like that was an easy one. It's a no-brainer. They got rid of it. Let's get rid of the no-brainers. So 2 nerfs that hit my army personally, I am the most excited about because that speaks to a greater balance and also gets me back to the drawing board and scheming again. My favorite phase of the game.
Yep, scheming. Get your spreadsheets, start making new lists.
Already spreadsheeted out my new shit, my new points, everything.
Yeah, dude.
Damn, that was quick.
Yeah.
I got a new Ultramarines list. It's cool.
Yeah, I was in there this morning going nuts, man. I was like, Vanguard Vets, what upping points? What the fuck is this?
Okay,
but
right,
then
just a second.
I realized I still saved a bunch of points.
Yeah, you did save a bunch of points, but they did not implement Vanguard Vet spam. I'm like, people were already debating, like, oh, free war gear. Let's see how many Vanguard Vets with Thunderhammer.
That's literally where my brain went. Everyone's brain.
It was going to be like 60, dude. Like, we did not need that in the game.
No. If Vanguard Vets didn't pay for Lightning Claws and Storm Shields, everyone would just have 30 Vanguard Vets. Everybody. Why not? So they all, not only did they not get free Lightning Claws and Storm Shields, they also went up a point. I believe 1 point. So tight, but you know, mostly everything went down in points. I picked up like 105 points in my list that I was scheming. Like, I'm like, holy shit.
Pretty good. That's almost the whole unit.
Yeah, I'm actually excited now for Land Speeders again.
Yep, Land Speeders are wild. Like, since all their guns are free, you can run 18 Land Speeders for 1,170 points.
Yep. Combination of base speeders and tornadoes.
Yeah. Just, it seems so wild and fun. I wish I could do it. But I'm not ever again buying bulk Land Speeders and putting them together.
After we theorized the list, collected all the Land Speeders and attack bikes, built those motherfuckers, and just like tortured ourselves, self-flagellated through the fucking...
Dude, it was only 6. And we're talking about 18. Like 6 Land Speeders nearly broke us.
33%. Like not even... dude, I already almost wanted to die after doing 6. So, but I'm excited to have some pocket Land Speeders again in my list. Now that I've opened up some points and Relentless Assault's super important, you know, that's something that I've been sleeping on. So like, I'm like, so they taketh and they giveth, man. But ultimately, damn, I cannot wait. The only thing I'm sad about is that this is not going to be LVO because people have ruined it. And so it's not fair. And now I have to sit there and kind of could talk myself into not painting because the stuff I was working on for LVO is not what I want to do with the field manual and Ark's Omen. So now I'm sitting here scheming on things that I'm only going to play at this one event that are immediately not going to be in the list the day after. So that's as annoying to me as feeling like you have to paint 3 new units right now. Like, is to paint something I know I don't want to play the next day. You know? So now I'm like, do I just go not as optimized? You know what I mean? So, but like we all know, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna paint it.
It's so fun to paint it.
I'm just gonna fucking paint it. I was just trying to make an excuse to play more video games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As always. It's like, you don't really need these. You can play more video games, Kenny.
What are you playing right now?
Nintendo Switch. I'm playing Diablo 3 on it.
Tight.
It's a fun little game to play on Switch. But I'm almost done. I've almost exhausted it. So, you know how it works. You gotta let it get out of your system.
Yeah.
Before you're ready to paint again. But yeah, well, I'm excited to see Rob for LVO. He says he's gonna drive out here and pick me up.
Yep, I'll be there. What day you want me to pick you up?
Thursday. You'll be there? What time? Do you want me to pick a time? You'll be there?
It's anytime you want, man.
All right,
I'll be
2
there.
p.m. Thursday. I'll be waiting outside. You'll see me.
You'll see me.
I will not communicate with you again. I'll just expect you to be there.
That sounds pretty solid. Do that.
And I get to actually have a phone call with Demeki after the show because as during the after hours I mentioned, he texted me that he actually got the time off of work and he's going to be volunteering with us at the Long War Doubles and he's going to be my ride. So we're going to road trip it out to Vegas again.
Hells yeah.
So Long War Doubles. And
I think there's still tickets available.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go sign up right now. Like if you're going to Vegas and you're not playing on fucking Sunday and you got 2,000 point army and you got a buddy who doesn't have an army, break it into 2,000 point armies, make it happen. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can do all that work to paint and play anyways. Let's keep this thing going. But, and Wyatt, where are we at? Math on you making an appearance.
It's going to be a hard maybe.
Hard maybe.
Hard maybe. My appointment this week was positive, so that's a good thing. So we'll see how next week goes. I'm kind of hoping that I can get to a point where I can still make it out there, even if it's not like completely healed up. So we'll see. All I can give right now is a we'll see.
Just wait it out, man. Just make Cherokee or something.
It's a hard maybe. I get it.
Yeah.
That's what my lady told me last night when I was trying to get lucky.
Where are we at on this? It's a hard maybe, dog.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I'm excited.
That's closer than I was.
Closer than I've been in a while. Let's go. So, good show. Let's get everyone to bed tonight. Rob, you stayed up since 4 a.m. Thank you for
just for the show. Actually,
for the show, man.
Yeah,
appreciate your
100%.
dedication, dude.
Appreciate it.
You got it, guys. Thank you for thanking me.
This fucking guy. Well, 2023 first show.
We did it.
Wyatt, you want to take us out of here?
Rob?
Why do you guys even play?
It's fun.
He's not funny anymore.
It is for me.
So that's it for this one.
Yeah, if it's not funny, why are you laughing, Rob?
Happy New Year. Because I was just like, what are we even? My cat's back there shredding paper. You guys are taking us out. I don't know. What's my line? So that's it for this one. Make sure to head over to I already forgot what it was. For exclusive content, early access videos, and more, become a veteran of the Long War today.